All right, let's see what the levels look like. We are live. We are live. Session 204. And I'm just looking at my life right now. I put 203 in the notice, but it's 204. Hopefully we can update that. Thank you so much for joining us for Morning Journal on this beautiful Thursday morning. It's always a pleasure to have you. Today's conversation is going to be about environments, and not in the kind of universal green sense, but we're going to be looking at the ways that the things inside of us and around us impact us. And but of course, let me say, we do this every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern time-ish. I know it's 6:10 over on the other side. The VIPs get in at 6. We get warmed up. Then we go out to the rest of the world, 6:05, 6:10, something like that. So if you missed the opening part, there's a link right there on the screen that'll show you how to get to the VIP section. You know, maybe you can come and join us in here sometimes. But Morning Journal is a place where we come in and we use some prompts to have a conversation and explore some things that are going on inside of us, around us, with the intention of making today a little bit better than yesterday. Sometimes it works. And if you're listening back and not seeing it, if you're listening on Spotify and this is your first time on this podcast experience, it's not like a lot of podcasts in terms of, it's a slow list. You just got to sit back with it and chill. You know? There's going to be some pauses. There's going to be some interactions with the audience that's live, because it is recorded live. And sometimes you might feel like you're a little lost, but just rock with us. And hopefully it's an experience that you will come back to again and again. So let's get started with a little bit of a check-in. I want to see how all my folks are doing who are here live. So let's, I got a couple questions for you to give me a sense of where you are. First question. I guess we can just use our words a little bit, right? Let's use our words. Specifically, let's use 3 of them. So 3 words that describe you feel right now. I'm leaving words out. I'm batting 1,000 this morning. So it's a typo. 3 words that describe how you feel right now. The how is implied. Swirl has joined us. Thank you so much for joining us. SOK is in the building. Thank you for being here. 3 words that describe you feel right now. We got omission. We got omission vibes this morning. Yeah, we omitting words. So we're responding to prompts. Don't forget to breathe. Let me know, how do you feel right now? 3 words. If you can put a little green check mark beside it, it might help me see it a little bit better. So I feel like taking a breath. And now, because I see the one, I'm afraid that all of my backgrounds are going to have typos this morning. It's going to be that type of day. We putting this down for posterity too. You dig? So Noble says, I'm excited, accomplished, and creative. Alexis is cold, depressed, and faking it. We are faking it this morning. So, I wonder what we're faking. You don't have to say, but I am curious. Cyber Shots is in the building over on YouTube. Yo, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you for being here. We got the 3 words that describe you feel right now. Since I can't seem to get all my letters on the page, 3 words that describe how you feel. Let us know. SO says, I'm caffeinated, anxious, frustrated. 10 is nervous, excited, hungry. Nervous, excited, and hungry. Faking being happy and okay. That's what Alexis is doing right now. Role playing a happy person. Well, that's an interesting place to start. And, maybe we can talk about that a little bit more. Starbuck is here. Welcome in, Starbuck. Thanks for joining us once again. You came in just in time for, a little check-in, see how everybody's feeling. And so if you can come up with 3 words to describe how you're feeling right now, that'd be awesome. Or you can just take a second and get acclimated to the space. You're like, geez, I just got here. Let me get my bearing a little bit. All right. Everybody, don't forget to breathe. Thanks, SOK, for the reminders to not, reminders to breathe. Noble Ancient, thank you so much for the like. So I think that there's a range of energies that are in the place. Some of them are like very strong and aggressive. And some of them are a little more muted. But as I always say, however you show up here is fine with me. Hopefully this experience will maybe shine a light to a better state, a more elevated state. Cybershot says, I feel good. James Brown voice. Love that. Hey, Starbuck, thank you so much for the spoons. Appreciate that. I love that. That's such an odd denomination of spoons. I love it though. I think was that one of those Valentine spoons? I love that. That's beautiful. 14 spoons. Such an odd number. So specific. But I'm here for it. Thank you. So Starbucks says that energetic, optimistic, and proud. Those are 3 words. Energetic, optimistic, and proud. Beautiful. Good morning, Marisol. Thank you for joining us. We're just kind of checking in right now with 3 words. 3 words that describe how you feel. Hey, thank you so much for the spoon, Starbucks. I don't know if you were here yesterday. We were talking about Starbucks for a while for no reason. Yeah, those are they are very cute. I love it. Jehovah Thickness is in the building. Thank you so much. All right. Marisol says, I am lit. I love that. Coming in lit at 6:18 in the morning? But I think, you're in Texas though, right? So 5:18, you lit? Word? All right, well, let's keep that same energy, let's share some of that light. All right. So Jehovah Thickness is here representing the Purple Gang. Give me 3 words that describe how you feel right now. We got it snowing in here. I love it. Okay. I do have one more. I have one more prompt. Well, I have another prompt. I'm not going to say one more. I want to kind of, let's look at Oh my God. Just as I suspected, we're going to be all typos today. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit distracted as I do this preparation. I don't know. But we're going to go into the next prompt and kind of bring our experience into focus. So let's, if you don't mind, let's share 3 wins that you can claim from the last 24 hours. We're working with threes today. 3 wins that you can claim from the last 24 hours. Marisol says, I'll be right back. Okay, Marisol. A lot of times, the words that we choose to describe how we feel are tied in some way to the experiences that we've had. So, what are some wins for you that you can claim? I know y'all heard me take that deep breath. It's important that we don't let too much time pass before we acknowledge our wins, because there are a lot of ways that we out here winning that we don't even take time to acknowledge. So Alexa says, dishes all the way done, laundry, stand and wait for a full movie. Hey now. Saw live action Lion King. Noble says, I completed the Sender set, spent time with Alexis, and found out we have that we got 5-star islands in Animal Crossing. Esso says, I found some cash in my wallet. I don't even know where it came from. Man, finding money, that's always a win. That's a W. No matter how much or how little it is, finding money is a W. So, congratulations. All right. DJ Schizo. Again, I see a theme here. There is dishes done. A great thing about dishes, stay with me now. I know it sounds like, where are you going with this? But the great thing about dishes is if you have dirty dishes, that means that you ate something, right? And that's a win. Hey, I ate something. I had something to eat, and I'm grateful for that. And here's the dirty dish to prove it. So, congratulations on the dishes, having food in the house. That new mix made some money in your sleep. DJ Schizo is just winning out here, right? That's beautiful. I love that. So Tim says, saying no, staying disciplined, and the last one is too personal. Okay. I could dig it. There is something valuable about private victories. You know, even if you don't say what it is, if you can just pump your fist, it's like, yeah, I did that, got that. Congratulations. So, Esso says, here's another one. AAA sent me a temporary membership card. I'm not proud, but I managed to hustle my homework for my class. I don't know what hustling homework means. But hey, you got to get it how you live. What does hustling homework mean? Esso, I hate cheating. Esso got some finesse. You finessing the game out here? Sometimes you got to operate with a little bit of finesse, right? And Capone is in the building. What's good at Capone? Let us know, what are 3 wins that you can claim from the last 24 hours? You said, sort of, BSing is sort of like working smart, not hard. I mean, sometimes you gotta, use a little leverage. Ain't nothing wrong with having a little leverage in your situation. Have a little smoke and mirrors in your, a little alakazam. Essa with the alakazam. All right. So Al Capone's wins are staying alive, feeling healthy, and it's warm. Those are the wins. So keep thinking about those wins. And I think that we can get ready to go to the next prompt. If another win comes to mind, please feel free to share it. I want to set up sort of the main conversation that we're going to have today with the following prompt. Because we're going to be talking about the environment, let's kind of tune into our current state, the current place that we are in. Hi, Mo. Welcome in. It's good to see you this morning. So we're talking about environments. Well, now we're talking about environments. And that's going to be sort of the theme of our conversation today. I want to say that, the environment can include your physical space, also your mental and emotional spaces, and even a minor improvement in your environment can have an outsized impact on the quality of your experience. In a very real way, you become what you are exposed to. So your environment works on you constantly. It can either slowly poison or gradually feed and heal you. And we're all capable of change, no doubt. But the change that you are seeking to make probably won't stick if the environment is not supportive of the growth that you've experienced. So let's think about that. So right now, I think that it's important to try to come from, to filter. I know the first thing that we might want to do is look at the problems in our environment, but I think it might be more productive and interesting to filter for beauty. So there might be some deficiencies in your space. You might have some gigs, some demerits if someone was inspecting what's going on in your head, in the space around you, whatever the case may be. But it's not all of that. There's some beauty around you if you will take a second to see it and notice it. And it might just be relative beauty, beautiful compared to the other things. It might not stand alone as something that would strike you, but maybe compared to the other things, it's the most beautiful among the things that are around you. And sometimes you might have to zoom in on a detail, something specific. There might be something Something beautiful lying in the midst of things that you would discard. But there it sits. Some splash of color and light. Something that draws you and opens you up to possibilities. So as you consider that, everyone go ahead and drop some green hearts in the chat. Retha has joined us this morning. So say hello. Welcome in Twins Tarot. I know some of you are sitting in the dark. So darkness is the most beautiful thing that you see. But there are also some things that you see when you close your eyes. There might be something that is kind of in your internal experience that's beautiful, that you notice, that you see it in a sense. Good morning, Serena. Welcome in. It's good to see you. So, we have Noble said the most beautiful detail I see from where I sit is Alexis, as they are in my direct line of sight. For like the next minute, Noble. Alexis says, but in 2 minutes, it will be my warm, fuzzy blanket that I love so much. Serena, welcome in. Sam is slandering Emo, claiming that Emo stinks. I don't know. I don't know if that's the energy right now. But let us know. What's the most beautiful thing that you can see from where you sit? So Tim says, my ex growing up is a beautiful sight. She spent the night. I love that. I love that. Serena, thank you so much. Thank you for the spoons. I really appreciate it. It's beautiful to see growth in people that you care about. DJ Schizo says, my chicken pot pie. Hey, if you're hungry, then definitely the sight of food is a beautiful thing. Dr. Ice Bear, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Right now, we're talking about our environment, and we know that it's not perfect, and rather than starting the conversation on the things that we want to enhance or improve, let's try to seek out the beauty that already exists where we are. In a way, it's like starting from a place of gratitude, right? So what's the most beautiful thing you can see from where you sit? For SOK, it is coffee and broccoli. Ain't nothing like a little broccoli, little trail mix, maybe trail mix after the broccoli, because you're going to be a little peckish after you partake. Get some healthy fats and proteins in your system after the broccoli. Something that's going to give you a little bit of a slow energy over the course of time as you catch up and, do what you got to do. Dr. Ice Bear says, I came a long way. So from the place that you've arrived, what can you see? Maybe it's the beautiful thing is the journey. Maybe the most beautiful thing is just looking back and marveling at how far you've come. But it's important to note it, I think that one of the things that makes us feel hopeless is our unwillingness or our lack of care in noticing and acknowledging all the reasons that we have to have hope. Possibilities that are still available to us if we're there to notice. And it starts by tuning and filtering for beauty. I think that's something that we all define in our own way. There's no objective ideal. It's just whatever it means to you. So, welcome back, Marisol. It's good to see you. Yes, we made it to the top 2. Just a half hour in. That's lovely. People can see us, and hopefully I won't serve up too many more typos. But like I said, I'm a little bit distracted as I was, I have a new project that I'm working on. I mean, it's not work related. It's more of a passion project, but you need to have space for that, because that's something that feeds you. So my passion project has kind of been running in the back of my mind, something I'm trying to create with someone, for someone. So pardon the typos. So the most beautiful thing that Marisol sees is my little leftover Christmas decorations. Still got a little bit of the season, a little bit of Christmas left over. The Christmas spirit still exists around Marisol. Or maybe you just haven't gotten around to doing that little switch over. Either way, we chilling. We not here to judge. So you always do it. It just makes you happy to see it. Okay? Yeah. Tim says my neighbors still have the tree up. And I feel like the way that Tim says that, I don't know if I'm reading into it, but I sense judgment in that tone. I don't know. I sense judgment in that tone. Tim, don't come for Marisol. Marisol's good people. All right. If you're not convinced that there is beauty around you, that you can notice from where you sit, hopefully by the time we finish this conversation, you'll be more attuned and open to the possibility that it is there. And you can use that as a place to build from, So let's get ready to go to the next prompt. If y'all are ready for that, go ahead and drop me a heart in the chat and we can go deeper into the conversation. Of course, you're free to continue to answer the ones that we proceed through. Again, we're going to start or continue by centering something that's positive. And this question, we've done this one before, but because the word recent is in there, maybe even if you've answered it in the past, maybe there's something new. And connecting to the feeling that we want, it gives us a roadmap. Like, what is it that we want to create space for? And the ultimate thing is joy. And I know that, joy might feel like a pretty high bar, like an ideal that's too far away. But, and it might only come in moments and flashes. You might catch yourself laughing, catch yourself smiling, even in the midst of everything that you have going on. There's some joy around the corner. You might hesitate to call it joy because maybe you don't feel worthy of it somehow, that you haven't earned the right to experience it. But it's there. It's one of those things that just kind of shows up without warning. It's there. You might actively disallow it. You might catch yourself and say, nah, I'm too afraid of how this might make me feel. So that's not for me. It's not for me. But, I know it's going to be temporary. So I don't want to deal with what it feels like to lose it. But unfortunately, and fortunately, let's say fortunately, temporary is all any of us ever gets. Permanence is an illusion. I think the thing about joy is the more of it you allow, the more of it you will notice. So, recent discoveries that have brought you joy. Marisol says, Although I'm being overcharged at times, I'm pleasantly surprised by the refunded amounts. Yeah, I mean, even if it's owed to you, money back is money back, and it feels good to get it. Noble Ancient says, finally finishing the Cinder set. The sense of sincerely being back in the groove or the zone. That's a recent joy. Tim says, me acknowledging my feelings has recently left me speechless. I'm dumb excited. Cool. Dumb excited. Yeah. Sometimes we hold the key to our own joy. And I don't know, sometimes the best hiding place is inside ourselves because, you know, that's the last place we want to look. It's a clever trick, right? Alexa says, getting the elusive 5 stars on Animal Crossing is a recent joy. Angelito, thank you so much for the like. I appreciate you. Yeah, Angelito, I think you hold the key to your own joy. I think because in so many cases, you will only allow yourself to have what you deserve. And because it is you that's standing in the way, you kind of hold the key to it. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you can find it and access it, but it's there. All of our experience is kind of generated from inside of us. There's the things that are happening outside, but our experience is an inside-out job. So, you got the keys. Oyo is here. Thank you for joining us. DT Dub TV is in the house. Good to see you this morning, Berlin. Let us know, what is a recent discovery that has brought you the most joy? You got the master key. No, you more like a janitor, a super. You Nathan Bookman. Got all the keys. Major key alert. Do I got major key alert in here? I know I got Khaled. Do I have Khaled saying major key alert? I'm not going to ruin the vibe with these drops. I think I got Khaled in here saying major key alert. All right. A recent discovery that has brought you the most joy. And if you don't mind, it would be helpful for me visually so that I can make sure I don't miss anyone's responses. If it is a direct response to the prompt, throw something green on it, a little green check mark, a little green heart, just so, you know, I see it. The chat is moving at an easy pace this morning, so I should be able to keep up, but I definitely don't want to miss the valuable contributions that you are going to make to the conversation throughout this experience. So I appreciate you for doing that for us. So I think we understand whatever joy means for you, whatever that experience is like for you, whatever beauty means to you, whatever embodies that for you, I think that is useful not to see it as a thing that can be attained permanently, but it's just sort of like a beacon, something to move towards. And, you know, the journey towards that thing, your life just gradually gets better, even if it's a place that you never finally arrive at. It just gets better when you're moving in that direction and you have that thing to orient you in that direction. Angelito says, do we also chain ourselves away from enjoying certain things? Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. And it's really about the story. These are all stories that we have. There's a layer, there's sort of the objective things that are going on in our experience. And then there's this layer of narrative that we put on top of it. So, for sure. Kaloli is here. Welcome in, Kaloli. Thank you for joining us. What is a recent discovery that has brought you joy? Jovi's like, yeah, of course, it's mindset. Absolutely. So SOK says, I'll be working with mycelium for 2 classes. I love that. All right. It means more homework hustling. Hey, it's okay. All right, so let me just, I feel like I was just kind of going on for a bit, and let me just I want to take a second to quickly acknowledge and say hello to all the folks who are listening from the VIP section. In case I missed you when you came in, I appreciate you for being here. We got SOK with the necktie on, holding us down, helping us get things going, greeting folks and making people welcome. I appreciate you for doing that. I is here. I feel like I should say I am here. But I is here. We got Jovi, EE. Jovi's got a really cool talk live right now on Spoon. And I would love to get to know a little bit more about you. Because if she wants to know what we should know about you. And I want to know too, because I'm nosy. So, jump over to Jovi's profile and answer that talk. Noble Ancient is here as well. Noble Ancient is getting ready to celebrate episode 20 of the Gamer Shop next week. So we're gearing up for that. We're excited for you. Marisol is here, looking at some beautiful Christmas decorations that remain in this space. DJ Schizo, about to be a star on TV. I love that. Tim is here, experiencing beauty and growth and all those things that make you smile and give you hope. I'm grateful that you're here. Dr. Ice Bear is in the house. Good to see you, Dr. Ice Bear. You've come a long way, and that journey has brought you here with us, so thank you. Kaloli, I noticed that Kaloli had a short jam popping off, so hopefully you had a chance to check that out. Angelito is here. Just met Angelito, but I'm glad to have you. Thank you so much for jumping in and jumping right in the conversation. Serena, thank you for being here and for the support that you dropped, those beautiful new stickers that were floating up in the air. And of course, Mo is also here early, maybe getting ready early, maybe just kind of laying down, chilling, but thank you for joining us. So those are folks who are here in the VIP. And if you want to get with us over here, you see the links on the screen. You can find us. I'm not going to belabor the point, but get like us. You dig? All right. If we're ready, go ahead and drop a heart in the chat and we can go into, let's go do the next round. I'm going anyway because, I'm looking at the clock and I'm ready to go to the next one. You can come and all. All right. So here we go. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Serena says, is there a special stream for subs only? We have had a few. So there are some things that I have planned for the Purple Gang. There's a special Discord channel for the Purple Gang that, they don't really hang out too much. There's links to playlists and stuff like that. We've done some sub-only streams, and if there's a demand for it, then we'll do it again. So Alexis got missed, so let me scroll back up. Because I followed the instructions and you still missed what I had to say. It looks like you left and came back. Let me see. She's like, I said it's okay. You don't have to do all that. Well, you mentioned it, so let me see. Okay. Alexa says getting the elusive 5 stars in Animal Crossing. I think I think I said that. Oh, I missed you in the shout outs. I think you dropped off for a second. And because when you left the chat or you left the connection, it didn't show you on the list. But hey, here you are. Thank you for being here. That's the dangerous thing about the list doesn't update automatically. All right, so as I mentioned, we're going to get ready to go to the next prompt, practices and rituals that help you get into a creative and productive zone. Okay. We're talking about environments, and I think that one of the most important environments is the one inside of our head. Just like Jovi said, talking about mindset. Now, I think that I use the word ritual here intentionally because there is a little bit of a difference between a ritual and a routine. A routine can really change your life. You get into it and it just makes it easier to do the thing that you intend to do. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to expend the kind of emotional labor to make the decision to do it because it's just there. You're just kind of in the groove. And that's powerful. That's useful. That's what habits are. But I think that rituals add another layer. Rituals don't just change your life. They kind of change your identity. They change who you are. Because a ritual has a level of story underneath it that underpins it. Like there's a reason. You understand the reason why you are doing the thing in the way that you are doing. It's like by following that ritual, it is a pathway to get you in the right mindset to do what it is that you're going to do. Routines are useful for what they call routine things, right? They call it a routine thing because it's something that, it might not be very demanding. It's just persistent. You just have to keep doing it. But rituals are powerful because they can help you overcome the friction to do more challenging things. They kind of transform you into the type of person that can do the thing that's in front of you when you don't necessarily feel like you are that type of person. They get your mind right and optimize your psychology to kind of exceed your everyday kind of mode of being. So those are really deep, and they include stories. They include alter egos. They include internal pep talks and all types of things that are, all types of things that are, you see it. Like if you see someone, sometimes in basketball, you'll see a person at the free throw line, they do the same thing every time. They say the same thing every time. And it's just like a trigger. So that's sort of the difference. And if you don't have rituals around what you do, if it sounds like it's silly, I don't know, maybe it is silly. But we are kind of wired to respond to that type of thing. So a quick heads up to what I've done is I've learned something technically that happens on the stream here. I can make the chat stop for me while you keep talking, and it's not going to scroll for me until I scroll down. So rest assured, right now, I'm going to start seeing if I can catch up with the answers that you've given so far and the comments that you've given so far. I appreciate your patience as I kind of set the context for this. So let's see what's going on. Noble Ancient has the practice or ritual of playing music on Spotify while building in the background. Music is a powerful trigger. I think that sometimes it's useful to have a specific playlist, something with some repetition and some predictability so that you can kind of pace yourself and understand where you are in the task based on the song that you hear. I know I use that. I have some playlists that I use here in this stream. I know what song is coming next. And I can just kind of anticipate what's going on and adjust myself accordingly, adjust the vibe accordingly. So music is a powerful one. So Marisol says, getting a little lifted. Getting a little lifted when you paint, get ready to paint. You paint, you do a little creative work on TikTok. I love that. Hi, Maria. Welcome in. It's good to see you. I didn't notice, I didn't see the pop-up, but I'm glad that you are here. Welcome in. See, now this is a dangerous thing. Some of our fools might have already left. For me, it's working out. I just feel like I'm in a Zen mode, if that makes sense. Angelito, absolutely, it does make sense. Thank you. Hi, Miss. Welcome in. So music helps Noble Ancient focus and get through what I need to get done. For sure. Mo is awake. Let us know, what are some practices or rituals that help you get into a creative or productive zone? For Miss, it is dancing, dreaming, meditation. Marisol says, I've done this several, but every once in a while it gives you a little new perspective to alter. For Miss, it is the absolute silence. All right. SOK says, work sesh kind of does it for me now that I think about it. Yeah. I think that was a very useful thing for you, given your, given your desire to give and receive accountability. It was a good venue for it. And I want to say something too about that, the productive part, the productive zone part. Sometimes we have a resistance to the idea of like being productive is sort of like, we should, I want to be able to exist without that pressure, that need to, always be making, always be doing, not able to be being. So I want to frame that in a slightly different way that might be helpful for you if that is something that you struggle with. I think that we have a natural instinct to contribute. We are wired for contribution. We want to give and share and make things better. Most of us are. Most healthy people have a natural desire to make a contribution. We express the best of our potential in service somehow. If you are totally selfish and self-serving, then you're living a pretty small life. I think in general, humans have a proclivity for generosity. So because of that, we create things, we produce things, we make connections, not because we are compelled to from the outside, but because it just makes our own experience better. So if you're struggling with, toxic productivity or whatever the case may be, think of it that way. It's just like a healthy way. You have a natural inclination to make a contribution. So a few other answers in the chat. We got double-fisted hot dog. Giving all the credit to my higher power helps me be more creative. I thank my higher power for everything these days. Gratitude is an extremely powerful state to operate in. Getting into a state of gratitude lets you tap into abundance. Abundance in all facets. So that's a great strategy, a great ritual. Alexa says morning journal in the AMs and breathing and meditating, imagining helps you get into a creative and productive zone. Emma says, my ADHD meds make it so I can focus. Yeah, some of us need a little help. Some of us need an intervention so that we can function at a high level and get things done that we need to get done. So being diligent in taking your meds and following the prescriptions of your care providers to allow you to be the best you can be. So yeah, we all have our things, right? Hopefully we do. And if we don't, maybe we can think about what might do that for us. So this is something, these rituals and routines, what they do is they kind of reset our internal environment. And I think that once we're in that place, we notice and acknowledge joy and beauty. We reset our internal environment. Then that kind of give us sort of a good footing to stand on, to move deeper into the ways that we want to change other aspects of our environment. So with that, let's get ready to go to the next prompt. So I like to use the metaphor of a garden. We've used it before. A garden is an intentional space, right? If there's a garden, there's like something specific that's going to grow there, or else it's just like wild space, and which is fine. Things naturally grow and thrive just in nature. Things just emerge, and one way to kind of survive is just to be knowledgeable and understanding where to go and find the things that you want to bring into your experience. There's also the option of creating an intentional space and deciding what you want to put there. So there might be some things that you would like to add to your experience, some things that you would like to plant in your metaphorical garden to enhance your environment in some way. So what are some of those seeds? Welcome in, Tree, Mez, Corey Chan. Thank you so much for joining us. Dr. Ice Bear, thank you so much for being here. So what are some seeds that you would like to plant in your garden? Forgiveness and something to make you more bold. So you want to plant some courage, some boldness, some forgiveness. Love that. Tree says, I fell asleep in Kaloli's live. Now I'm here. Well, here you are. I love it. So we're talking about the things that we want to plant in our garden, graphic design traits, additional game design techniques as my levels grow. Love that. Corey Chan says, I want to plant some positivity and my, some positivity and my hypoglycemic treatment. Put that in the garden. You like, I love the Daft Punk cover. It is sort of Daft Punk-ish. So Alexa says, I want to plant seeds of remembrance to consistently take my meds. Yeah. You want to make that a part of your experience. You want to cultivate that in your space. Consistency. So I think that there are real ways and practical ways that you can design your environment to make it easier to remember those things. So maybe you can brainstorm some strategies. Tim says, I want to actually plant some pretty flowers. I want to like literally. Miss says, I want to plant more intentionally and more intentionality and consistency and deep connections. Those are the seeds that I want to plant. We all understand that these seeds, it's a process, right? So it's not like voila. It's like we just have to be willing to hope, because seeds are just like hope and potential. So we're going to plant that, and then we're going to be patient as these things begin to emerge in our experience. So, seeds to plant. The things that you want to create for yourself and that you want to bring into your experience. Most of the things that are valuable don't just pop up overnight. Most of the time it takes some time. It takes seasons. Yesterday we talked about seasonality, the season of planting, and then there's some more work to be done before it finally comes out. Miss says seeds may not grow. You got to water them, tend to them, make sure that the soil is good. Right, there's work involved. Essa wants to plant seeds of self-love, self-trust, grounding, consistency, and ability. Oh, man. See, unfortunately, I just have to kick you because... Can I get some hitters? Thank you. That's unfortunate. I would have just muted, but I don't have that capability right now. So let me scroll up and make sure I didn't miss anyone's responses. That's so inconsiderate. But I guess we could have seen it with that username. He got hit twice. All right. So we want to plant these seeds. We know that there's going to be work involved. And our next prompt is going to be talking about that work. But let's see what we got. AG Voodoo Lady is here. Thank you for joining us. Tree has a few things. Seeds for money, love, stability, courage, knowledge, and creativity. That money tree's the first thing. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get situated. I can dig it. And those things, like, you want to plant those early. All right. So, of course, it doesn't stop with the planting, as Miss indicated. That's just the first part. Because then you got the next part, which is also equally important. And is this. What are some weeds that you would like to remove from your garden? So you got seeds and you got weeds, right? And I think that it's important as we think about these things. We don't get mad at the weeds or blame yourself for the weeds. It's just weeds doing weed-like things. Don't hate the weed. Just love the seed. You're not removing the weed because you hate it, but you're doing it on behalf of the seed. So, it's like, oh, I love the weed. I mean, don't hate the weed. Just love the seed. I think weeds they represent, what kind of weeds? See, now here we go. Y'all are just, let me just give y'all a few minutes to get all that out of your system so I can make the point that I'm trying to make. A bunch of potheads in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and finish making, we get it. Okay, so weeds, I think, represent an opportunity to demonstrate that you care. Let me pause the chat for a second so that I don't lose anything. Yeah, weeds are an opportunity for you to demonstrate that you care, because love is an active thing, and the act The act of creating the environment that will allow what you planted to thrive. That's what removing weeds does. You are trying to make space for something to thrive that you care about. And that act of care, it kind of reinforces your belief that is possible. And also, that act of care can counteract the lingering notion that you don't deserve it. It's like, I'm doing this. I'm showing this care. Here is proof positive. Here is evidence. And of course, you can't control everything. So even if you plant the seeds, you can do all the right things and still it might not work out. But the difference is you won't be the saboteur in this case. And you can be sure that if you keep planting and you keep weeding and pruning and creating the right environment, eventually you're going to win. So we can't necessarily hang our hopes on this one seed and this one harvest, this one round to work out the right way. But if we are committed to the process of planting and tending and weeding, eventually we know that something beautiful is going to emerge from that. We just kind of have to keep going. Yeah. With love, with respect, weed, you got to go. Respectfully, I need for you to step aside for a second. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what some of the things are. What are some of the weeds? Noble says the disconnected team, meaning needing more direct access to the team. A change in the field. I know the Diet Coke freestyle, that's not, I think maybe that's Diet Coke, and we probably talking about Mountain Dew or something that's green besides the money that like roll up on. All right, weeds. Miss says, time wasters, self-hate, complaining, procrastinating, always some weeds. Always, but some weeds are quite delicious. There's some weeds that are actually kind of pretty, kind of beautiful, alluring, but they are sapping the energy from the main thing that you are trying to grow. So Steve is in here. Elise is in here. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're talking about the weeds that we would like to remove from our garden. And Tree says sadness, negativity, procrastination, doubt, so much more. So much more. There's a lot of weeds out here. I think that's kind of the nature of weeds. Like they just can thrive anywhere. And hating them doesn't help. Just, understand that it's just a part of the process. It's going to pop up again. It's cool. It's like, is this Steve from Green Room? How about that? Steve, now you're Steve from Green Room. How about that? How about that? So, Miss says self-doubt has to go. Self-limitations. No more being small. Alexa says negative self-talk, eating disorder, lack of motivation. Jovi is metaphorically speaking, roll up the weeds and blow it away. Med says procrastination, like last week. Tim says weeds of impulse and uncertainty. Impulse and uncertainty. Chloe says spoon. Spoon is a weed I need to remove from my garden. Welcome back, wifey. Thank you for joining us. So there are weeds that we know are present, and it seems like a bummer that you can just that you don't have to just that you can't just plant and everything just go, that there's more work to be done. But that emotional labor is often necessary for the more significant things, and we want to try to, rather than trying to force the seed to grow and will the seed to grow, the habit, the thing that you're trying to create, is really about the indirect control that we have by setting up our environment so that we can win. So if you're talking about removing a weed, it's really about making it easier, using your environment to make it harder to do the things that you don't want to do, and make your environment serve your purposes more accurately. Keep the things away from you that don't always be in a situation where you're fighting a temptation. Put something up between you, a fence between you and that thing that would serve to destroy what you're trying to build. So we know who the enemies are sometimes. All right. Let's take a deep breath. We can keep thinking about those things that we want to root out, those things that we know don't serve us. As we move deeper into the conversation, welcome in, Cherry Chew. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead and drop me a heart in the chat. Quick reminder, always feel free if you need to linger with the prompt, or if you want to say more about it. There's a beautiful feature here where you can send me a message, or you can post on my wall. There's something that you want to say more about. If you have a question, some clarification that you need, that's a great way to do that. I would love to continue these conversations. I know we go over a lot of prompts over the course of a 2-hour period. And sometimes, you come back later and it's like, I have something I want to share on that. So I would love to see messages about prompts. And if it's related to conversations that we're having, maybe I can make a point to create a segment within the show where we can share some of the later prompts, things that people said later, maybe even stuff that people said on replay or in the Discord. So, yeah. So let's get ready to go into the next prompt. So let's get practical and direct and zoom in on an hour today. What is something you can do in less than an hour that would make your physical space feel better? What would make your physical space feel better? And you could do it in less than an hour. It's not a major overhaul, a week-long project. Sometimes if we can find a simple way to get started, it can make a huge difference in building momentum. So we're going to get the energy up. I want you to think about, we're going to transform into our, the best versions of ourselves. Cherry Chew says, not being it, I am the problem. So it'll be better if I just kind of got out of here. So let's think about this. We are all champions of our experience in our environment. So think about what you can conquer in your space to make it more fit for what you want to create in it. If it's a space of rest, how can you make it more restful and peaceful? If it's a space to create, how can you arrange things in such a way. So, hey, thank you so much for the light. Hey, Miss is purpled up. I love that. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Welcome in. Welcome to the Purple Gang. So, less than an hour. Marisol says, I could give in to my sleep. Sleep will change your internal environment and your physical state for sure. Miss is going to clean that room up. Figure out the next game to work on is something maybe you can do in an hour. I would say, Noble, if I will challenge you to try to do something that exists outside of your head and in the physical world. Miss says, I need to pay you. Well, I appreciate the support for sure. Welcome in, Warrior. Thank you for joining us this morning. I hope you're feeling okay. We're raising the energy level right now because we're going to get up and do something, or at least think about what it is that we're going to do. Hey, thank you so much for the spoons. Beautiful. Tree says, make some coffee and watch TikTok videos. Okay. Let's see if there is a way in which watching TikTok videos is productive. It could be. Given that you are a content creator, looking at TikTok videos can give you some inspiration. So I'll allow it. As a content creator, you do need to kind of see what's going on. Study your craft. So I will allow that. So Warrior is here to sleep, so everybody shh. So what is something that you can do in less than an hour? TikTok. I'm looking for stuff. Okay, I can tell Noble to take the rubbish out while I wash the dishes again. That's something that will improve the space. Telling Noble. Hey, Noble, you've been told. I know you've seen that. Let's get that rubbish out. So wifey says, me too. Me too to what, wifey? What is it that you want to? Hey, thank you so much for the support and love. Now, if you're listening to the playback, I feel like I need to explain what's going on here because you might not be able to. I keep thanking Miss for dropping what we call spoons. So there's like some microcurrency for direct support of the streamer. And some folks have been really generous and subscribing and dropping spoons to show their appreciation. So I know you might be a little confused. I feel like I need to explain that, and I certainly appreciate it. So wifey says, I'm going to give in to my sleep as well. Noble's like, well, let me hop off here and go take care of that. Yeah, go ahead and take care of that. Welcome in, Johnny. Thank you for being here this morning. Certainly appreciate you. So what's something you can do in less than an hour that would make your physical space feel better? Reading a book. I think that it's really interesting how, like, if we have a space that's dedicated for a specific task, every time we walk into that space, we experience, like, it makes it easier to do the thing that the space is designed for. So if you want to read, what would be a good place, a good space for you to go to that will give you some distraction-free, immersive opportunities? Or maybe you can read in bed, maybe to get away from the screen for a while. That's a cool thing. So I agree that a garden is cool. I don't know if you can whip one of those up in an hour, but it's definitely something worth working towards. Lizzie Lou is in the building, folks. Welcome in, Lizzie Lou. Thank you for joining us. Right now, we're kind of on the action part of the conversation. We're talking about what you can do in less than an hour that would make your physical space feel better. Chino is here. Welcome in. So the premise that we are working with today is the fact that our environment plays a huge role in the quality of our experience. It trumps almost everything. Like motivation cannot be sustained in an environment that is counterproductive over the long term. So we're going to let the environment work for us. Jovi says, rearranging my work desk for better lighting. Lighting is key. Lighting is clutch. Speaking of, I just looked out the window. And the sun is up. That sun today. Yeah. Jovi and I probably see a similar sun. So Kaloli says, I can move my desk outside of the bedroom. Mez cleaned. You said you cleaned your desk yesterday and moved the lamp. Little things, right? Make it a little bit easier, a little bit nicer. Lizzie Lou says the sun ain't up. It's 6 here. The sun ain't up. Well, it's up here. It's coming. Lizzie Lou, I'm pretty sure that the sun is coming. So don't fear. It'll be there soon. Miss says, I can make my bed today. The space will feel a little bit better. Kaloli says, you always end up doing work. So leaving the space for rest available for rest and having work be where work needs to be. Lizzie Lou, thank you so much for the like. Psilocybin's here. How about that? Welcome in. Tim says, I'm not sure what I can do. I'm in a great environment currently. So yeah, I guess you've already done some of this work. And if you're in a good place, then it's about maintaining, right? Understanding what makes this good and what do I need to do to maintain it. All right. Psilocybin, thank you so much for let's see. Yeah, thank you so much for the like. Miss, thank you so much for the spoons. It's beautiful. I love the support. So Jovi's is like, hey, yo, G, share your rearranging. What's up? This is maybe one we want to hear from you. So if I want to talk about my physical space, and because of where I'm sitting right now, I'm thinking about my sort of streaming setup. I think that there is, because I kind of hastily put things back together so that I can continue streaming, I can definitely stand to clear off the unnecessary things that are on my table where I'm streaming from, because there's a lot going on over here. There's 3 screens, and then all the cable management is not great, so I'm seeing wires, and that's kind of bugging me a little bit. So yeah, just making it a little more clean and inviting will make it feel better for me. Because I was like, yo, I got to get in here, I got to get set up and get going. And so I just kind of threw everything together and started rolling. So just kind of rearranging. I've already simplified things a little bit. so I don't have as much to look at and think about. So yeah, just that, I would say. So another friendly reminder, as you can continue to consider ways that you can improve your physical space, make them feel better. There's a new episode of The Treehouse coming out tonight on YouTube. If you haven't followed Tree on YouTube, make sure you do that. The Treehouse. Wifey's got to restart the phone. All right, we'll be here for another half hour. So yeah, I know that I've been in a few very productive creative spaces, and a lot of times you'll just be in there and everything is just kind of thrown together, and it works. And sometimes you just get in the groove and you just keep working on it, just keep working in it, and stuff starts to accumulate. And to be able to sit down and have peace and have a clear mind is key. So I would love to know a little bit about what you make in the space, whatever the most productive space that you operate in. What do you make there? All right. Couple deep breaths, and we're going to get into I guess what'll be the last prompt of the day. And this is a little bit of a challenge too, because we might have to take a look at something. And we're talking about our environment in general, but now we want to get really specific with this one. What task is in front of you? What task is in front of you? And when I say in front of you, it could mean just like at hand, or, standing in your way. There's a task, there's something, a conversation, a deadline, or something. It's in front of you. Maybe you're not ready to approach it. Maybe it's kind of sitting off in the background and there's a story running in your mind about it. How can you make that task a little bit easier to approach? What task is in front of you? You know what it is. And I think you know what I mean. I think you know what I'm talking about here. Miss says, my task is to finish my school program. I need to carve out time to make it easier. So carving out time. Carve out, dedicate time. Okay. Lizzie was like, man, G's coming into my house. Hey, I mean, the task for psilocybin is to quit weed. Yeah, that purple box, isn't it lovely, miss? You look great in purple, let me say. You look great in purple. Your job has coursework, and it's hard to get done. Well, miss, I can see it. Can everybody else see Mrs. Purple? I can see it. If you can't see it, miss, you might just need to leave and come back. We can all see it. I know you want to see it yourself, though, because that's half the fun, right? Sometimes it's a little glitchy, especially if you just got it. If it's new, sometimes it's a little glitchy, but rest assured, it'll be on you, next time you come in, it'll be there for sure. So Mez says, acceptance acceptance of my upcoming surgery. It means not having a chance at having my own kids. So you have the task of acceptance in front of you. There might be some mourning involved in that process as well. And that's a huge task. So it's not a linear process though. Even though it's in front of you, it's not something that you can just, you'll be able to just check off. It's something that it's a process that you'll be engaging in. So we're definitely with you. We know you told us about this a little while ago. So I know it's the closer it gets, the more difficult it is, the more scary it is. So I appreciate you for kind of sharing this part of your life journey with us. Miss says, I gotta schedule all my doctor's appointments. That's a task. Working on my ED with a specialized therapist is a task in front of Alexis. So, yeah, sometimes the music can't perfectly be timed to what y'all gonna say, because I don't know what y'all gonna say. If it's too far out there, I'll just switch the song. It's like, oh, this don't work at all. But ride with us. So psilocybin says, I'm trying to get to 150 pounds. Yeah, sometimes it works like that sometimes. A lot of times, though, I'll, if I notice it before I start reading, if it's like a little inside baseball, if I have the request box, let's say, when I have the request box up, I will hold off on a response if the vibe isn't right. But because it's right in the chat, it's a little hard to do that. So, a little production challenge that we still have to overcome. So psilocybin has the weight loss thing, that task, that combination of tasks that are involved. Weight gain tasks, trying to get up to 150 pounds. So, task that's in front of us. And I think the question is, how can you make it easier? That second part is really important. It's important to identify it, but it's also to think about, well, what are some things that I can do to support this process? So wifey says, I need to accept the fact that I need to heal. Yeah. So approaching acceptance. Maybe there's an activity. A lot of the work that we have to do is inside. It's internal work. But some of the stuff is like practical, just everyday things. Either way, if we can make it easier to do the thing the right way, if we can set our environment in such a way that make a space that's conducive to healing, try to find some peace and not allow little unimportant things to tax you mentally and emotionally as you deal with the bigger, more important things. So Tim says, getting ready for work is the task. You can find something to wear, prepare a smoothie, warm up the car, check fluids. So yeah, something's going on with the whip. You definitely want to make sure that that's been taken care of. So Miss says that, you're gaining a lot of weight and coming to terms with being overweight. You want to lose 25 pounds. Yeah, I think we're all working on ourselves in different ways and for different reasons. And we have different levels of comfort in terms of doing the things, whether they are large or small, to facilitate the growth that we are pursuing. Sometimes we avoid it for a variety of reasons, like we have habits of thought or things that we are working through that keep us from our good. Sometimes we know better, and knowing better is not enough to do better. Sometimes even when we know better, we don't. So the whole idea of having a conversation about environment is going back to the point to kind of sum things up for today's session. We want to recognize the fact that the environment is working on us all the time. So Emo's got to go. All right, Emo, it's good to see you. I hope you have a great day. I think that understanding that our environment is working us all the time, it's poisoning. It can be poisoning us slowly, or it can be gradually healing us. Despite whatever direct efforts we are making, our environments are always weighing on us. So anything that we do to improve the environment, to make it more supportive, then that's a really high leverage thing to do. It seems trivial. It doesn't seem urgent. It seems like it can put off. Like, oh, it's not important. But it is important. It really is. And you deserve to have your efforts supported by the environment that you have access to and control over. You deserve to not have things be harder than they need to be, So I encourage you to think about ways that you can bring more joy into your environment, and joy is not too much to ask. Think about ways that you can bring more joy and ease and beauty. So these are all lofty things that we may not feel deserving of for whatever reason. Never mind that. You don't even have to deserve it. If the environment is right, it'll show up. All you have to do is allow it. So, all right. Good to see you this morning. DJ Prodigy, Heart of Darkness, thank you for joining us. So yeah, it's just like as we close things out for today's session, take a look around you. Look for the little ways that you can make things a little bit better for yourself, for those that you care about. That's the goal. Little things that you can do. And just watch what happens. All right. Let me just take a second to say thanks to everyone who has been a part of this experience today. We are going to have a few minutes of VIP time just to kind of hang out. We're getting ready to close things out for the folks listening on the other platforms. So let me say before I do that, thank you. And just in way of announcement, we do Morning Journal every Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern Time live. So if you're listening on Spotify and you were able to kind of follow what was going on, you got to this point, and you feel like, hey, maybe I want to be a part of the live conversation, then check the show notes. There'll be a link. There'll be a link in the show notes to get you the show notes to help you get in here so you can hang out with all the cool folks who are commenting and supporting each other, sharing their experience. It's really a beautiful thing. So if you're listening on Spotify, you're subscribed or following on Spotify, wherever you listen to the podcast, check the link in the show notes. You can come and join us live 6 a.m. Monday through Friday. You know? If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Thank you so much for listening in. Facebook, all the different places. It's really cool that we can connect in so many different ways. So yeah, it's time to get ready to jump into, y'all know what time it is. Time for the outro. Same outro every day, just so you know it's almost over. But if you're in the VIP, we still got about 15 minutes, so we can just kind of hang out. Got 20 beautiful souls listening in the VIP. Thank you for hanging out. So, the outro. Yeah, that's been the theme today. Everybody wants to, like, you know, blow a little, show a little, make it like snow a little. Now, we ain't making it snow, but we actually did have some flakes flying up in the air. I appreciate all the love and support that you've shown. All right, as of right now, at this moment, we got Tree up in here, Emez up in here, Kaloli up in here, Hold Up in here, Marisol is up in here, Noble Ancient and Alexis up in here, and Jovi. Those are like the top supporters in the spot. So let's see who else we got. We got DJ Schizo, Dr. Ice Bear, yeah, and Angelito's up in here. Yeah, and Serena, and somehow Emma, is Emma still up in here? Maybe just listening in? No. In the chairs in the rear? Okay, so DJ Prodigy is in here, and Warrior is up in here. We got Lizzie Lou is up in here. Hey, yo, Den is up in here. And of course, the latest inductee up to the Purple Gang, Miss, is up in here. All right, Hall is Gnome is up in here. So is Chino and Psilocybin up in here. The Heart of Darkness and up in here. Okay. SOK is up in here. All right, I might have missed somebody. Charge it to my head, not my heart. I love y'all. Appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning. DJ Prodigy is going to do a Throwback Thursday joint. So that's going to be going on. You dig? Oh, I did forget. Last but not least, we got Tim. In chats like, yoo-hoo, I'm still here too. I know. I see you. All right. Peace out, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the places that we be. We gonna still keep hanging out in the VIP. Peace. All right.